And then they hired me, and I've been here ever since. I started off on the admissions team, answering the phones, the crisis phones, and over the last 5 years, like it's been a beautiful journey. I'm the admissions director now. I have a wonderful team here. We've served almost 2,500 warriors since 2016. So it's like 2,500 veterans, active duty military, police officers, EMTs, firefighters. 2,500 of those folks have reached out to us and wanted help, right? Like they wanted to come, they wanted to change their life. And me and my team get to be the ones that answer the phone to help get them here. It's amazing.
It's incredible, but it takes a lot of courage to make that call. When you're in crisis, and to be the guy on the other end of the phone, and it's a 24/7 hotline, correct?
Yeah, our team is rocking and rolling 24/7. A warrior can call anytime, day or night, and they'll get a live person on the phone, and we'll help them. Like I tell people, you mentioned this a little bit, like how strong we are, and you, people listening to this call, like we have made it through 100% of the worst days of our life. You know what I mean? Like our batting average is 100. There's not one day that we've had that we haven't been able to make it through. As hard as it was, we made it through that. So like, if we can get somebody on the phone, it's like letting them know, like, there's nothing wrong with making it one more day. Like, just do that. Like, you can't say tomorrow's going to be worse than the worst day of your life. Like, you've already made it through those days. Yeah. So like, if you change today, my grandpa told me this before he passed away when I was struggling. He's a Korean War veteran. They were stacking bodies on pallets, sending them home from Korea. Like, he's a freaking war dog. And he told me, he said, Michael, if you quit doing what you're doing, then all of the bad things that are happening as a result of the things that you're doing will start to stop. And eventually, if you've stopped long enough, then they will stop. And it's like, wise old man, right?
Yeah. And now today, those are words of wisdom. How did it, at that point, did it hit you? You just weren't ready for it.
It made sense. Yeah, it made sense, but I just wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready to make that change. I needed a set of consequences and an intervention from my higher power before I was ever going to make a change. Those two things had to happen. I had to have some serious consequences that were more than going to jail for a week. Like, that stuff didn't bother me one bit, you know. So, then when I started to learn, or when I started to work on like positive affirmations, we teach this to our warriors. We do a process. It's called SAVERS. It's actually a really good process, but it's an acronym, SAVERS, and the S stands for silence or meditation, right? The A is for affirmations, self-affirmations, right? I am a good father. The V is visualizations. So like visualizing the affirmation coming true. Like, you don't have to believe it, just see it. Just see it. And that's a start. And then exercise, reading something, and then journaling about what you read. But so that's something we teach our warriors that they can learn here and take home. But it's being able to visualize those things or attributes or characteristics that you want to become. Like, that's one of the things that we focus on teaching our warriors here.
Wow. I love hearing that because, we are living in a time where, there's so much challenge out there among our veteran community and everywhere else. And there is a real cry for help, but so often, and I'm not saying that medicine doesn't have a purpose at some points, but the things that you just mentioned, people do not realize the saving power of those things. And I practice those things in my life, and it has been an absolute godsend. So, and I think, the more we can talk about those things and make them so much more normal and mainstream and have people realize how powerful they are. It's not to say that medicine doesn't serve a purpose at some point, but those things to me are that grounding force that really can get you through. And I love hearing that, you guys, that you do that, because it really is super powerful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. 2,500 veterans have come through since you've been there, or since the inception of Warrior's Heart?
Yeah, since the inception, about 2,500 warriors have come to us for inpatient training. And our goal, our mission is to bring 1 million warriors home. And compare 2,500 to 1 million. Yeah, there's a big gap, right? What does that mean? We've done all kinds of talks about it, but what we've determined is, so like me coming home, right? How many lives have I been able to impact just by me getting sober and coming home, right? So just my one life, well, my kids have better lives, my friends have better lives, the people I connect with, like hopefully I can bring value to their life, right? So one person can impact so many people. And so it's not about just how many warriors come to our program, it's about how many lives are impacted from a warrior choosing sobriety over addiction and choosing healing over mental health and choosing to change. Because when a warrior comes to our program and they learn how to become a sober, confident warrior, when they go home, a warrior is a servant at heart. That's why they joined the police academy or the fire academy or the military, because they're a servant. There's a lot of them are servant leaders. And when a servant leader can get their head on straight and then go back to their home and serve their family, friends, and loved ones, the ripple effect of that is absolutely tremendous, and you can't even count it. And so that's what that means to us at Warrior's Heart. Bringing 1 million warriors home is the ripple effect of what one person can do.
Yeah, I am such a huge believer in that. And I always say, like, my North Star every morning when I get up is generational learning and healing. And I think the two go hand in hand. And, hearing stories like this and knowing that there are so many people out there across this country doing hard work that doesn't get recognized, but is so, so necessary. And if you turn on the news, it'll make you crazy. And the reason I started this podcast was to capture stories like this that just don't get told enough, because these are the stories that need to be out there and they need to be in the mainstream, because there is such a struggle and people need to know there's hope.